Hey friend, it's Sherold Barr. I wanted to share with you one of the greatest lessons of my life. Now that I'm in my wisdom years and I've gone through hard stuff just like you have, I'm no different than you. I've just learned the hard way through some traumas. However, I would not trade my experiences for anything because of what I know now. And I want to share it with you, and I hope you'll remember it so that you can use this when you need it. There's two things. The first is that after I went through some really harrowing traumas, I lost my younger brother. 2005, he was killed, and it's a cold case, and that rocked my world and my family's world. Yet that led me to doing a lot of personal growth, working on myself to try to survive this horrible thing that happened. That was one of the worst things in my entire life, was to experience that. Out of that came the best thing in my life, which is self-realization and spiritual awakenings that I've had. The second one was almost losing my son to a rare genetic condition and having to go through that because I saw my mother lose her son, my brother, and I saw what it did to her. I was in Byron Katie's Institute. I was doing a lot of inquiry on my biggest fears and limiting beliefs. It was a really rough time during my life, about 2005 to, I don't know, I think it kept going. Up until after this wreck 8 years ago. So that was difficult. Yet what I saw in the middle of the trauma, the third, was in 2017 when I went through a near fatal car wreck and survived and had 6 major abdominal surgeries and had to learn to walk twice. On that one, I had a near-death experience that was unbelievable. And that's the kind of thing I want to share with you, because that took me to a place of bliss, that my ego was turned off. So those were the 3 traumas that I went through. Yet what I began to see in the second one was with my son, was that the higher power, the universe, I'm going to call it my God, the God of my understanding, because each one of us has or does not have, and that's your choice, the God of your understanding. And my God is a very friendly God. My God is full of love, and my God wants the best for me and my angels and guides as well. Probably the most profound thing in my life to know that I don't have anything to fear, because I've walked through my worst fears. I'm sure there's more coming. That doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm in a place of contentment right now while the world's nuts. And that's not to say tomorrow I won't be. These things don't last. But I've been in this place now for a while through some other hard work. The fact is, I never stop growing and learning. Never. Yet what I've learned is that I don't have anything to fear, because my mind has evidence and proof that things have been put in place before these traumas. I can go back and pinpoint. I can see differently now than I could have seen before. And I can find the good. And in fact, in the third trauma, where I almost died, as I was being wheeled into my hospital room after being air evacuated from Baja, Mexico to Sharp Memorial in San Diego, after my third surgery and the first one there at Sharp, I said to John, as I was being wheeled into my room, "John, can you find the good in all of this?" And John said, "Yes, I see so much love." And that was true. That is really what it's about. When you face your fears, that's really what it's about. And I could see the good. I could see that my God, that's my God of my understanding, put things in place before this trauma, each one of them, during these traumas, and after these traumas. And I can pinpoint to all of it. What I want you to know when you're going through the worst thing in your life, these were my worst things in my life, there are things in place when you can surrender. There's so many things in this video I'm saying to you right now that I'll break down in smaller videos, which I surrendered. I said at the third trauma, when I was going through all these experiences, I was in Baja. I realized I have no control. My husband doesn't speak Spanish. No one at this hospital speaks English. I might not live. So I said, God, I'm in your hands. I let it all go. As soon as that happened, the miracles began. That is when we give up control, because we really don't have control. We think we have control, and we try to do things with our self-will, but we really don't. That is what I want to leave you with, that finding the good in the worst things that have happened to you, and did any of them lead to the best thing in your life? I would not trade my life and those experiences for what I know now, because I've evolved to a higher consciousness. I'm not saying I'm enlightened. I'm saying that I'm aware. I'm much more self-aware. Another big thing I learned is free will. We have free will to make choices of how we're going to do this. And in my near-death experience, the voice, definitely a divine voice, said, you get to choose how you go through this experience. What will you choose? And I thought, I don't want to be a victim. This is free will in action. I'll choose the high road, and I'll use love and gratitude to heal. And that's what I did. Love and gratitude are two of the highest frequencies, energetic tone, that you can be in. And I was up there. Near-death experiences are up at 600. Death is 0. Buddha mind is 1,000. You go up to these levels and you come back down. You don't stay in. I stayed in that one for about 4 months, but you come back down, and boy, the ego is back ready to take control and have you believe it so it gets more power. That's what I wanted to leave you with today. And I'll break down things like surrendering. I'll break down, again, free will. We have choice. Don't ever think you don't have any choices. You always have a choice. The choice is your attitude, how you're going to go through what you're going through. Are you going to go through it kicking and screaming? Or are you going to go through it being courageous? God rewards courage. And that's what my spiritual teacher always told me, Beverly. I have proof now. So I have proof. So I don't have too much to be afraid of. I can get rattled. I can go to the worry mind. I can do all of that stuff. But I try to stay in this place. And I just want to share that with you. Thanks. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you over to my Substack, SheroldBarr.com, where I write every week. So I'd love to have you join me over there. I teach special workshops to people who are paid subscribers. I also am starting to offer free gatherings once a month so that we can all be in community and go through what we're going through as a group. Okay. Take care.